Hello there, I just want to make a quick video. I won't keep you for long, or maybe a bit longer, I don't know. I haven't made many videos lately because this heat wave has just been kicking everyone's butt. I've been basically just melting in my chair with the fan on me or trying to find a shady spot outside to go hide in. But anyway, one thing I saw that was going on that I had to stop and make a video about is apparently just this last weekend there was a huge protest in Berlin against all this insanity, the forced slave masks, all for this fake pandemic media, Korona. And of course, the media is calling them Nazis. Everyone that does anything against the state is just automatically a Nazi. It's like propaganda much? Those are not Nazis. Those are people sick of the government's crap, sick of the overreach, and sick of being turned into masked slaves. That's a lot of people. Oh, I noticed my post seemed to have gotten a bit of traction. And Katie's like, wow. And I'm like, indeed. That's awesome. The German people have had enough. The Muslim interlopers and this Nazi-like nonsense going on in France as well. And like before Korona, I remember how France had the protests, the yellow vests. They were in permanent protester mode for almost a year there against the pedo Big Bang goof New World Order. And also the Christian protests going on in Hong Kong. This all was neutralized by the pandemic. And then Katie says, definitely a Nazi agenda. Yeah, it's like two sides of fascism. There's like basically cartels in the banks that control all these parties, these political agendas, like communism and Stalin and all these different guys like China, everyone put in power just to create boogeymen 10 years down the road. And like I says, it's happening again by design, like the 1930s. These Bilderberg Nazi Prague goofs. And then Shelley's like, yeah, I remember the yellow vest, France and all that. And yeah, Korona put a dead stop to that. It's fake. And I was like, yeah, it's straight up nonsense. It was all killed in a day. And then she says sweepingly, because they've played this before, this role, whatever, yeah, they moved on to the race card, divide and conquer. It works so well. It works so well, and they know it. And then Jenna chimes in. She was the first person I saw talking about it. And of course, the mainstream media is hardly covering it. Of course, because, you know, why would they want to give anybody any ideas to stand up against the totalitarian evil state that's taking over? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Grabler media that they own, their propaganda arm, is not going to say much about it. And if they do, they'll for sure just attack the movement anyway. But going on here, Katania says, is that somewhere down the road they'll release something sinister, an actual real bioweapon or something? And I says, yeah, there's a good chance that this whole nonsense right now, getting people to wear their masked muzzles, it's just going to weaken the immune systems for when they actually release whatever. I've also heard that when it does come, it's going to target certain bloodlines. So yeah, stay away from the eugenics, flu shots, and whatnot, eh? Vaccine's bad. Like there's like swine flesh, God knows what, aborted fetal tissue, chemicals, heavy metals, all sorts of toxic crap in those flu shots. You'd have to be retarded to take it. And then Patricia chimes in, that should be how Americans responded, but all they did was, bah, bah, I voted for Obama, Obama, orange man bad. And I says, yeah, my fellow Canadians as well. I'm so disappointed with my fellow man that now I spend an extra 20 minutes at every grocery store run just lecturing people about this fake Korona. She's like, good for you. And I'm like, oh, don't give me thanks. They just piss me off. I can't help but do it. I've been kicked out of a few stores, but you wait a week and go back and no one even remembers. It's like mind-numbing to watch. And I blame TV. The simplest answer is people have been literally hypnotized by television image of the beast. And then Stacy chimes in, this would be amazing if we did it all over the place. You know, where are all of our people? And I said, for 20 years now, the only nonviolent approach to stopping the New World Order and their BS is a billion-man march, simultaneously split amongst all the heavy centers, like the 3 city-states, Washington, D.C., the Vatican, and London proper, you know, Geneva, all that, Wall Street, everything. And like this, thousands march in Berlin to protest the Korona. Like, nobody wants to wear a mask, except, like, nobody who knows or studies this wants to nor needs to wear a mask. And apparently all these people are Nazis, according to the mainstream media. You know, Associated Press. They at least didn't seemingly attack these people in the title. But then you get the New York Times straight up calls them neo-Nazi groups. These are people who are sick of the fascist, leftist, disgusting government, and yet they're called Nazis. Yeah, that's because the media is insane, and if you still listen to the media or watch TV, televised, commercialized television, I question your sanity. Other people chimed in. Some of the photos going around are of the World Soccer match and some other thing in 2019. And then Jenna chimes in, yeah, some of the pictures are fake. But again, here's the one at the top that I had. That's a lot of people. I mean, I could imagine there's probably more people there than live in the small town I'm at. And she's like, that's from today, which was 2 days ago, on the 2nd of August. And then I was saying, yeah, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying I want to have all my ducks in a row. I don't want to post pictures from the wrong year, the wrong thing, whatever. And then we started talking about the idea of a billion-man march again, saying how I wish Canadians and Americans would grow a pair. And then somebody says somebody is wrong. I don't know. I'm not getting into arguments. But, and then she cites this New York Post, whatever. But the point of the matter is it happened and the media barely covered it. Everyone I asked about it didn't know until I showed them pictures. And then I said, I think it's real, because if it wasn't real, they'd be playing it down in a different way, or they'd be propping it up. But in this case, they're attacking it, so it's probably real. Mark's like, good, and Pat's like, I've heard no U.S. coverage of this either. And then Jenna chimes in about a bunch of pictures that were fake, that people are propping up or pawning off as, but they're from other events, other things. And then someone chimes in about Q. Q named after the Gnostic Freemason 7 lowercase g gods of Sophia. Yeah, none for me, thanks. I cited my playlist and how Q and Trump are probably, in my opinion, part of the second beast of the Book of Revelation. Q in the television media, I think, is the precursor to the image of the beast. And then she says, well, Q quotes scripture, and I says, yeah, but it's been proven that it's always a misquote or always in some kind of Gnostic Freemason doublespeak. And Gonzo Shamira proved that. If you watch his 2 videos, I'll link these in the description section. Awesome videos. Gonz is the man. I've been watching Face Like the Sun videos for years. And yeah, even then she comes to see the truth and says, all right, you know. And then Heather says the same thing. What really knocked it out of the park for me was the fact that QAnon, named after the Gnostic Freemason 7 Anon wannabe gods. It's a shortcut to thinking. Plus, Gonz also explains how there's this weird book list associated with Q. And then also the theory that Q is the quantum computer Tyler in this picture here. Might be. And why does What's Her Pickle look like an alien out of the old TV show V or something? This chubby dude on the left, you could swap out this guy for Sauron the White, and it wouldn't even be weird. So yeah, no, I don't trust Q or Trump. Light side Luciferians pretending to be the good guys. And then there's this. I mean, when you're mobilizing a military to give out a vaccine for a fake virus, only one word comes to mind, and that's eugenics. So no, I don't trust Trump. And then Hal chimes in, they shall hate the horror of Babylon. That Bible verse talks about how in the end, the fallen will just eat each other. They'll eat everything. They'll even eat their own whore they're propping up with the cup of abominations. And then Pat chimes in that the anti-mask activists are descending on London as well. Good. The more the merrier. As long as it's not controlled opposition. Like, I wouldn't want to see any movement be infiltrated by the grabblers. And then Cray says, the media is the most powerful entity on earth. Exactly. They couldn't have pulled any of this off with Korona without media. They could not have pulled it off. And I don't even know how they did the Spanish flu. I mean, newspapers at the time, I guess. But cities were probably the worst. But it's a fact that the soldiers returning from World War I that took the vaccine, they were the ones that got sick. Yeah? Look into it. And he continues on to say, They have the power to make the innocent look guilty and the guilty look innocent, and that's temporary power because they control the minds of the masses. The press is so powerful, it's in its image-making role. It can make the criminal look like he's the victim and the victim look like he's the criminal. This is the press, an irresponsible press, and it will make the criminal look like he's the victim and it will make the victim look like he's the criminal. And if you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating people who are being oppressed and loving people who are doing the oppressing. And I was just talking about Malcolm X with my one friend tonight, and that's exactly the problem with media. There wouldn't be a Korona if there was no television. And that's just a fact. And then Lupina chimes in. She goes, I hope this is true. People are awaking. And then this Mariah nonsense woman Karen chimes in with all this bile. It's like, if you think this is fake, you are just asking for it. I'm sick of people saying blah, blah, blah. When she goes, I may have to delete you, bro. I'm like, what? And she had chimed in on this woman attacking her. And I'm like, don't worry about that crazy lady. I blocked her. And I thought, crazy lady? What are you talking about? And what I said here is basically the same thing. But I go, and just because you went off on me and other people in my comment section on my post here, just ranting and raving and accusing us of this or that or the other thing. Mariah Jasmine, come on down. You're the next contestant on Banned for Life for my Facebook page, you arrogant petty woman. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I just thought it was interesting because, yeah, people are starting to wake up. This is nonsense. Like, more people died yesterday of car crashes than I think died total of Korona. And even then, the death stats are so faked. You notice that there's been no flu and pneumonia deaths this year for the first time in history. No flu and pneumonia deaths because they're all being counted as Korona, Korona, Korona. So anyway, whatever. That's all I got to say about that. I wish Canadians and Americans would grow a pair. Maybe it's the fluoridated water. I don't know. But big shout out to Berlin because that's awesome. And yeah, peace out, baby.